Hey fans, this episode covers one of the best things about growing up in Southwick, Massachusetts back in the day, the annual Southwick Firemen's Carnival. I absolutely loved it as a kid and have a lot of great memories, and not only the carnival, but the parade, which we would typically watch from the summer house or across the street in the parking lot of Southwick Plaza, in the strip mall where Roma's was originally. It was so cool seeing the police car coming up over the hill, leading the procession of fire trucks with their lights flashing and sirens blaring. I love seeing Southwick firefighters dressed in their finest and all the neighboring fire companies that participated. Absolutely loved it. It was so cool. Anyways, before we get started, I just want to point out that this story goes back in time. And like any story on the Southwick time machine, the language reflects the time period and not the political correctness of today. The event started as the Firemen's Carnival and eventually became known as the Firemen's Carnival. Both names are used interchangeably and are throughout the story. Now that's cleared up, let's dive right in. So here we go. The Southwick Firemen's Association sponsored a carnival in July 1948, starting a tradition that would become cherished and celebrated for decades. Now, like most towns, neighboring Suffield, Connecticut also had a long-standing tradition of a Firemen's Carnival, theirs dating back to the 1930s. Central to the Southwick Firemen's Carnival was this parade. Added in 1950, it was more than a display of fire equipment. It was a vibrant showcase of community pride. Fire departments, marching bands, businesses, and organizations across New England participated, making it a regional celebration. Guest judges awarded trophies and prizes to winners in various categories, including Best Appearing Equipment, Most Distance Traveled, Best Appearing Unit and Jackets, and Best Musical Unit. Over the years, parade organizers added new categories and eliminated others. Some years they had as many as 12 categories. Hundreds of Southwick residents, those from surrounding towns, lined the parade route. The long sound of the fire siren atop the fire station signaled the parade start. Over the years, the parade route changed, but ended at the town complex most years, marking the official start of the carnival's final night. However, the parade initially took place on the carnival's opening night. Like its predecessors, the 1954 parade started at the new cemetery and traveled down College Highway to Depot Street. Starting in 1955, it began on Potter Mill Road at the new junior high school, today's Potter Mill School, turned west onto Springfield Street, that's modern-day Feeding Hills Road, left on College Highway and east on Depot Street. By 1960, it started on Feeding Hills Road at College Highway. By 2012, the carnival had moved to the school grounds. We'll talk more about that later. So organizers used the 1955 route in reverse. The 1956 parade is notable because it was bigger and better, thanks partly to the 35-plus organizations that participate in it, including a Coca-Cola distributor who entered an antique Mac delivery truck, reportedly the company's first. Now, just to compare, there are roughly 15 participants in the 1951 parade, so more than double the 1956. Parade goers in 1958 went for a real treat when the Malha Shrine Temple Band marched in the parade with the Shriners' famous mini cars and other vehicles making an appearance. The parade grew even larger in 1961 with 50 units participating. Now, it's interesting to note that the turtle races were a big hit of the 1956 carnival. Anyway, to support their fellow fighter fighters, members of the Southwick Fire Department participated in other towns' parades. In 1977, they drove their old pumper in the Firemen's Parade in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. As the aging truck turned the corner, it made a grunting noise and stalled. It started rolling backwards, and firemen from Cromwell, Connecticut sprung into action. They pushed the stalled fire truck forward, it roared to a start, and continued down the parade route. Interestingly enough, back in 1970, the Southwick Fire Department won the oldest piece of motorized equipment category in a parade sponsored by the Hazardville, Connecticut Fire Department. Now, the Southwick Firemen's Association used most of the carnival's proceeds to buy equipment, including an ambulance which they proudly displayed during the 1950 carnival. In 1953, the association used carnival proceeds to purchase one of two shortwave radios the Southwick Volunteer Fire Department received, making Southwick the first town in western Massachusetts equipped for direct contact with the state's forestry department. And they did stuff like this over the years. It was a huge benefit to residents. For an example, in 2003, the Southwick Firemen's Association donated $40,000 to help pay for a $120,000 ambulance to replace the aged one they bought in 1995. But between the donation and the service fees, the ambulance purchase cost taxpayers nothing. Huge blessing. There was a lot of fun to be had at the carnival. Carnival goers enjoyed games of skill like Cat Game. That was a wooden ball toss game. There was Hoopla, a classic ring toss game. There was also a dartboard, Dunkin' Booth, and dish toss, as well as rides such as a Ferris wheel, merry-go-round, and pony rides. Attendees could test their strength. If they rang the bell, they could win a cigar. Refreshments and other items were available for purchase. The pastry booth was popular, and it's interesting to note that the Firemen's Wives Association sold more than 500 pounds of fried dough during the 1978 carnival. Very impressive. The Southwick Firemen's Association routinely awarded various door prizes, many that were generously donated by area businesses. The door prizes were featured as a special attraction and were typically reserved for the end of the carnival. Prizes in 1959 included an electric rotisserie, luggage, a portable radio, and a large cooler. If that wasn't impressive enough, the prizes in 1971 included a trip for two to Bermuda, Polaroid cameras, and a mini bike. Some of the carnival sponsors were the Summer House, Kitchens of Distinction, Village Pizza, Southwick Florists, Interstate Building Supply, better known as IBS, Blossoming Acres, Pioneer Vineyard Dairy, Saunders, Moolicious Farm, and the Country Colonial Gift Shop. So the site of the carnival varied. The Firemen's Association started on the town building grounds, but moved around periodically. Some years on the school grounds or at the Southwick Recreation Center. Now, controversy struck in 1983 when the Southwick Firemen's Association approached the town of Southwick with plans to hold their carnival at Prifty Park. Selectman Vivian Brown, now she's appeared on the Southwick Time Machine before. Anyways, Vivian, she was the chairman of the board. She became a vocal opponent of the move, citing concerns that the carnival would damage the field. The dispute lasted about a month, with the Firemen's Association reluctantly scrapping their plan, for the time being anyway. Then, Prifty Park, about a 7-acre space in the grounds of the former Consolidated School, was a park in name only. It was created in 1981 to honor former Southwick selectman Nucci Prifty, who dedicated many years of his life to public service and made many contributions to the town of Southwick. He passed away in 1980. An interesting note, in 2010, Southwick's Park Recreation Commission started the process to make Prifty Park an official park, which was still years off. The park was apparently purposed for senior citizens, which is another reason Chairman Brown gave for opposing the carnival being held there. Anyways, calls for service sometimes interrupted the festivities, as was the case in September 1987, when a tobacco barn on North Long Yard Road went up in flames just as the parade was about to step off. Dressed in their best, Southwick firefighters and several visiting fire departments participating in the parade responded. They fought the massive blaze side by side, an impressive show of dedication and teamwork. But despite their best efforts, the fire destroyed the barn and its contents. Now, the carnival's attendance numbers fluctuated over the years, but in 1952 they rebounded with an estimated 2,000 attendees on the final night. The 1956 carnival with its expanded parade set a new attendance record, as did 1959. The carnival had its fair share of dismal years. Organizers almost canceled it in 1994 after raising a mere $4,000 a year prior, its steepest decline since 1980. The losses resulted in organizers putting cost-cutting measures in place, some forced, some voluntary. For example, the number of games was reduced in 1994, and officials at Riverside Park helped the association by steering them to a supplier of stuffed animals, for game prizes, who could provide them at a lower cost. The downward spiral continued with the 2012 carnival lacking fireworks and most rides, but in 2013, carnival committee members Jessica Bishop, Adam Hart, and Brian Schneider, with the help of their fellow firefighters and the Southwick Firemen's Association, revived the carnival, which ran Thursday through Sunday on school grounds. Marchers from about 90 fire departments participated in the parade on Saturday night. In addition to the usual amusements, there was a car and motorcycle show. Now, the 2013 carnival was like a grand finale of sorts because sadly it was the final year of the long-running Southwick Firemen's Carnival. You can read the Southwick Firemen's Carnival online at www.southwicktimemachine.com. The complete story is there, as are any edited out portions, the author's additional research notes, which includes some information on the efforts to revive the carnival in the form of Southwick Days, which wasn't included in the main story because I had to get off topic, and eventually there'll be a story about Southwick Days, which originated in 1959. It was primarily an agricultural event, had some crafts and different things. Anyway, if you ever attended the Firemen's Carnival, let me know what your favorite thing about it was. I'd love to hear your comments, so drop one below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more historical curiosities as we continue our mission of preserving history through storytelling. Until next time, thank you for watching.